What's up, Pineapples? Welcome back to my channel. So today is definitely a different type of video. I've been wanting to do a type of video where I kind of ask you guys to ask me questions. I give you advice, my opinion. I am not the all-knowing person. Let me just say that shit right now. But I do know how it feels to not be able to go to someone, maybe not have a sibling that you're comfortable with or a family member or anybody, and you just want to ask a damn question. You maybe feel uncomfortable or it's something where you're like, oh, I just want to know how someone would react, or is this normal, or how do you feel about this? And that's basically what this video is supposed to do. When I first started off my YouTube channel, if you guys don't know, I had no damn clue what I wanted to do on YouTube. I know I loved beauty. That's all I watched. I didn't have anybody to talk to about makeup or limited edition MAC collections, and I was all about it. I went to YouTube because that was my only time to be able to talk about girly things and watch other girls love different beauty products like how I loved, and they thought the way I thought, and I was just like, yes, this is where I'm supposed to be. YouTube just really brought me more, I don't want to say like friendships, but you know, just more like connections with people that were like-minded like me. So coming to that, when I started my channel, I didn't know what the hell I wanted to do. I kind of wanted to keep it open because at the same time I was like, well, I love beauty, but who knows where this can bring me, because my mind was thinking all sorts of things, and boom, that's where I came up with What Would Lizzy Do, because I did not know what I wanted to do. It had nothing to do with what would Jesus do. I just want to say that, and no disrespect to anybody who ever thought that. It was just like, I didn't know what I wanted to do, so what would Lizzy do? But now I kind of know what I want to do, and it's this video. I just wanted this video just to be lighthearted. This is my opinion. This is what I'm going to say. I am not a therapist, that's for sure. But just like regular girl talk, when you just want to go to someone and ask a question and you just want to know the damn answer. Like, how would someone else respond? What are you thinking? Sometimes we just need someone else, you know, that you can just go to, because we all kind of have our boundaries and like our walls sometimes, even with our best friends. And you'll keep that one secret, but you still deep down just want to maybe ask them, or you want to ask just somebody, period. Because even though you may have a best friend and maybe you guys are super, super, super close, I feel like there's always like that one little bit where you're just like embarrassed a little, or you're just hesitant to ask them, or kind of, you know, dip your opinion into something. So that's why I'm doing this. Now let's get into these questions. Woo! Okay, so I'm seeing like a lot of like personal questions, but then I definitely see like a mix of like questions that people would want to ask. I don't think I was that specific. This is my first time doing this, but hopefully after this video, it'll kind of be clear what I'm kind of doing. Okay, so this is a great one. This one is advice for people who are feeling down about themselves, life, appearances, etc. My advice, first off, would be if you find something that triggers you to make you feel bad, say for instance, Instagram, I will stay off Instagram. I am someone where I used to follow like a lot of accounts and I thought that they were inspiring me, but deep down they were honestly like tearing me apart. I would see all these videos and I thought, okay, if I see all these fit girls and they're thin and skinny and they're much shorter than me, I'm 5'9", and you know, and they're doing all these crazy workouts and their bodies look perfect, maybe I'll feel motivated to really push myself. The more pictures I saw and the more videos I saw, I was like, what the hell? I'm 5'9", I'm thick, my build is not like that. They obviously have different genetics than me, and I will never look like that. I can only be the best that I can be, but that is just not reality. So I ended up just unfollowing a lot of Instagram accounts because I thought that was gonna maybe just trigger something in my head and say, hey, this is inspiring, but it really wasn't. So if you are someone where you follow a lot of accounts and you're looking at everything and you're wishing and you're wishing and you're wishing and you're hoping, there's a big difference between wishing and hoping and just wanting that so bad. Versus admiring. When you admire someone and you appreciate them, that is completely different. So I follow a lot of accounts where I look at someone and I'm like, wow, they're really inspiring, feel motivated by them. But if you see some accounts and you're like, damn, like I'll never get there, like how does she do that? I wish I was like that. Those are the accounts you have to unfollow. So there's a big like line that you have to draw on social media, because the person who asks is obvious on Instagram. Instagram is huge. Everybody has it, even to Twitter, to YouTube, all of that. Don't fall into the hype of social media. But that's really my main advice, because I noticed that social media has taken over everything. Everybody is constantly on their phones. Take a break from your phone, look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am freaking damn beautiful. It is so important to be your #1 fan. Glenn reminds me all the time saying you're so beautiful the way you are, and you need people. If you don't have people around you saying that to you, then maybe you need to kind of, you know, switch the circle up, because even though you have to be your #1 fan, you also want people around you to support you. I will say Glenn is like the best with me. He makes me feel so good and so beautiful, even when I'm at my worst with eye crusties, have not been keeping up with the gym, whatever. Like literally when I just feel like, he makes me feel like, ooh, ooh. So if you have friends that are maybe possibly putting you down as well, or kind of in a negative mindset saying, I wish I was like her, and I wish or why can't we be like that? You kind of got to cut that off. Not a really healthy mindset. But that's my best advice, because I feel like social media is like huge, like I said. And if you are still, you know, down and out, I definitely would talk to somebody. Going to a therapist, there's nothing wrong with that. I've done it in the past. I also want to go see a therapist within the next couple of months for different things, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's really good just to talk to someone who is neutral. They can't be biased. They have no sides. They listen to your story, and it's just like a clear, even playing ground. You know, it's like an even game where it's like no one is going to judge you. And it feels really good just to get things out. And also when it comes to life, if you have people that are putting you down where you're at in life, maybe you're not where you want to be, or you want to strive to be something else, keep pushing, keep doing you, have your goals. Dreams can become a reality. Don't let anybody pop your bubble, because life is so short and you can accomplish so much. I had so much people talk crap about me going full-time in YouTube, and now it's just like, oh, well, I mean, obviously I'm doing pretty good. I've accomplished so many things, and I'm not going to list the, you know, stuff and all that. But if I never took that risk, I would have never, you know, come to where I am now. So always strive for your goals and your dreams, and you will do good. So now I have a question that says, secret to a successful marriage. I'm going to say this is for successful marriage and also relationship. Number one thing is trust. I just told Glenn like the other day, we're talking about like bachelor parties and different things like that. I'm going on bachelorette party like next year to Miami, and I can't wait. And the whole main theme that goes around like different things with a relationship is trust, number one. And right next to it is communication. You have to trust your partner. Glenn is the very first person I have ever dated, and I have never once snooped through his phone. I have never snooped through his room, snooped through his whole entire house when I was left alone in it. I didn't go through shit. And that is because we have such good communication. Our just vibe is just there. We are very open with everything. If we feel upset or uncomfortable with something, we talk about it. We don't let it ride out. I'm not going to say we're a perfect couple, because when we did move in together, that's probably when we had most of our problems, because we realized certain habits of each other. And I personally feel like it was probably the best thing to move in, so that you're not surprised by someone's habits. I know some people are opinionated and like to do the whole traditional thing. That's on you. But what worked out for us and for both of our lifestyles is just lots of communication, being very open, and basically blunt about everything. If you don't like something, there's a way to say it also. When I say blunt, I mean just straight honest, not just like, I don't like this family member, or I don't like the way you sneeze, you know, stuff like that. There's a way to say things, and you want to make sure you keep respect. And that's a third one. Or even, I feel like communication, trust, and respect are all on tier number one. I feel because we have that all like on deck, we are such a great couple. Nothing will ever be uncomfortable or weird or awkward or fake about us, because we're so open. And I think that's why our relationship is honestly so great. We don't have very many problems. If we ever do, it's honestly because of outside people. Just keeping that open communication. Like the second you disrespect your partner, it's just like, oh man, it's so hard to get that back. Or if you like lie or cheat, it's like, man, like, because then it's going to be in the back of your head. And sometimes, yeah, you can work through those things. But sometimes when it's a pattern, it's just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? If it didn't work the first time, why would it work the second, third, fourth, fifth, or sixth try? I'm going to say those are the main things. Just be respectful, have open communication, and just be very open with everything, because if you let it drag out, trust me, like when it builds up, it just makes it worse. Okay, so now someone says, what type of budgeting do you do, if any? Laugh out loud. Okay, so now when it comes to finances, I think this is such a huge part, not just for yourself individually, but also for your future. Now I'm coming from a standpoint where obviously I am independent. I am my own boss, so I have to be really responsible with my money. Whenever I do any type of campaigns or anything dealing with my finances, I make sure that I have all my bills set in place. I have enough for my bills, and then all the extra money that I do have, you know, obviously I'm going to put that for groceries, for gas, and little extras when you go out and stuff like that, but I don't go wild. I'm really smart when it comes to saving. I am someone where back in the day, I almost made myself sick, where my whole thing was whatever I made, I would have exactly like the amount for my bills. I'd set like an allowance to have fun and go out and, you know, eat and go to bars, whatever I wanted to do. And then the rest I would put into a savings account. Now, with that, some days I would look at my account and say I would spend a little bit more than what I thought. I would look at it, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I don't want to, you know, go over. So I would have to pull money out of my savings and, you know, things pop up. And it's not that I didn't have the money. It's just that I was so strict with myself. I was like, oh, I can't pay for it. I'm going to, you know, overdraw and all this stuff. And it made me sick. So that's not a good way to do it. I think it's really important just to be smart and have enough in your account, but also whatever you don't need, stick in a savings. I did that for such a long time. And then your savings account will just start building up little by little. But if you are an independent boss on your own, you need an IRA. That is an independent retirement account. Say that you have your own business, your own whatever you're doing, just individually, you don't have like a 401k from your job. You need to make sure that you're responsible and you have a savings account for any emergencies or anything like that. And also a retirement account where you do not touch that money. That is for your future. That is for your livelihood in the future. I have 3 accounts. I have a checking. I have a savings where I put extra money in just to keep continuously saving. And then I also have an account where I have my retirement account. So I do budget. I don't spend money like crazy. Sometimes, you know, like I do splurge. I do have designer things and stuff, but I don't do it all the time. I did that a couple years ago where not like I went wild, but I wanted something every now and then. And I mean, I still had the funds, but I'm kind of like over it. Like, yeah, I like pieces and stuff like that, but I don't know, like you just have to be smart with your money. And we all like nice things, but it's so important. And I'm telling you, once you see your savings start building up, it feels so good. I feel like you would get addicted to just shoving all your extra money in there. I mean, that's how I became, and I'm just really responsible with my money. I definitely write it out. I see my accounts. I have my app on my bank, but then I also write things out just so I can see kind of like a fluctuation within the dates, because for me, it works out to write it out. If you are struggling with saving, think about all the extra things that you're purchasing, like your McDonald's meal or some Starbucks, going to the bars. It is insane how much money that stuff adds up, and it is such a damn waste. If you want Starbucks, go buy yourself the $4.99 bottle of iced coffee, some creamer. That shit will last you a good 2 weeks. You can spend like literally $100 on Starbucks in 2 weeks. So there you go. You just saved a ton of money. Also with fast food, you know, sometimes it's inevitable. We're craving some fast food, or that's just what's convenient. We don't have time to cook. But again, you waste a lot of money with like little things like that. At the bar, ooh, you might as well just buy yourself a bottle and pregame, okay? You're welcome. Drinks at bars are insane. So if you didn't really set that aside in your budget, don't do it. Don't feel pressured. Don't feel pressured to go and do this and this and that. If you really want to save, that's another thing. I feel like people around you can really pressure you to like buy things or do other things or go to the bar. Come on, let's just have an extra drink, and that all adds up. How do you ask a guy out without being shut down? Laugh out loud. I'm a bit shy. I totally get it, because even though I am so extroverted, I am very introverted at the same exact time. I have been in like a situation, obviously before I dated Glenn and all that, where I was just so intrigued by someone and I wanted to just say, hey, let's just go grab a drink, because we're like vibing so much. And it was to the point where it's like, I heard that, you know, he was like kind of attracted to me and I was kind of attracted to him, and like our personalities were just going, but neither of us were making a move. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to get the balls and I'm going to do it. And honestly, it's just do it. Like, listen to Nike. It is one of those things where I always say you never want to ask yourself, what if? Like, what if he happened to be the one? What if he ended up being one of your best friends for a lifetime? I mean, he can be the godfather of your future children. Okay, maybe that's going too far. If it just doesn't work out and he shuts you down, you keep on moving. You keep on moving. Choo choo. I always say it's just so good to do things that make you feel uncomfortable or to take risks. And once you start doing that, you really start opening yourself up as a person and developing more. Because if you're just so used to just being the same and stagnant, you won't really grow. And I think, and even something is like, it may not seem simple to you, but in the end, it's going to seem simple, because once you do, you're like, oh, that's it? He wants to go out? Yes. But say that he he ends up saying, oh, you know, I don't know, I'm not really interested or whatever, no big deal. There are so many freaking people in this world. I say do it. Just try it out. I mean, you don't have to be all creepy about it. I think the best thing to do is always say this. I give my advice to like one of my friends, my guy friends. I'm like, dude, don't be creepy about it. Just say, hey, you want to go for coffee? Coffee is not weird. Just go for like a freaking croissant and a latte and you're good. There is no like stressors. There's no like pressure to make out at a coffee shop. Like who, you know, it's just a very chill environment. You can relax. Hey, you want to get a cup of coffee or you want to get a boba or something like that, you know? I necessarily wouldn't go just drinking because I feel like that can just go bad real quick. Just because you might get nervous and might drink too much and then it's like word vomit. So I just always say, just do something like more casual and then you like move on to it. Someone asked, how soon is too soon to live with girlfriend or boyfriend or getting engaged and married? Honestly, I don't think there's any timeline. I think when you know, you know. I feel like Glenn and I were only dating barely 2 years, like barely coming up 2 years, and he already proposed to me. Some people may think that that was super quick, but when you know, you just know, especially when you cut out like all the bullshit, you will just know. I personally feel like when you feel comfortable and the other person feels comfortable about moving in and there's no pressure or hesitation on both sides, then I think it's a really good thing, and then I think you should move in together. I already stated my opinion earlier. I do think it's good to live together because you see the habits, you see how they live, they see how you are. And hey, you'll find out if you guys are a good fit or not. Glenn and I saw a lot of habits I did not like from him. He saw a lot of habits that he did not like from me, and then we compromised. Sometimes you might not compromise and you're just gonna have to move on, but it's better to find out sooner than later. Say like you end up not moving in together and say you do get married and then you're married and then you never experience living together with them. For me personally, just in my opinion, I feel like it's worse to get married and then all of a sudden you discover all this stuff and you're like, wow, what the hell? Both of you are comfortable and you feel confident in yourself and also your other partner and vice versa, that you guys can handle the bills together as well, because that's a huge thing. Finances are like a number one problem of a lot of couples, not even just getting along, it's the finances, because now you're thinking about your utilities and electricity and water bill, and are we gonna have cable or not? Are we gonna have internet? Who's paying for those things? Who's buying the groceries? Who's gonna get this? Who's gonna get that? We need furniture. All that comes into play. So if you feel confident enough to be with that person and make that really big decision, because it is not a light-hearted decision to move in together, then I think you guys will be good. Like I said, if there's no hesitation on both sides, because if someone's kind of like, come on, you know, we'll be great, you know, it'll be so much fun, I wouldn't do it, because obviously there's something in the back of their mind, and then later on they're like, see, I told you we shouldn't, and then it's gonna go, so wait till both people are like, yes, let's do it. What do you do to calm down when you get upset with Glenn? You know what I do, and it's all personal preference, I have to walk away. If I'm upset about something, I don't want to stay there and then start bickering and saying things that I might regret after. I'm someone where I know myself and I can go from 0 to 100 pretty quick, and I've definitely learned from my past experiences and past relationships to control that and not just say like whatever you want to say, and then because then you end up disrespecting the person. No disrespect, all R-E-S-P-E-C-T, please. And my whole thing is just easy for me just to walk away. Like I will literally tell Glenn, I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm just gonna walk away right now. And this is what I always say, I'm just gonna walk away right now because I don't wanna say anything that I'm gonna regret. And I just walk away, literally. Come into maybe my makeup room, into the other room, go to the bathroom because I need to take a 2, who knows, but I just literally walk away. So it's all personal preference. It just depends how some people are. If you're upset and you want to go get a coffee, go get a coffee. You want to go look at the birds and the clouds and make shapes with the clouds, do that. Whatever makes you feel calm, then that's what you should do. I come in my beauty room and I clean and I organize. So someone just said, I've been watching you for forever. How do you deal with not being so famous like others? To be quite honest, I am not in it for the fame. I am in it for my own personal self, for my family, for my relationship, my future. I do not think about, oh, I don't have as many followers as this person. Everybody has their own success. I am successful. I definitely have established myself. I just bought a house. Like, I feel really good. So for me, I'm not all about like the fame. And to be quite honest, when I look at other people and they crave fame, and just like people in general that just want lots of followers and look at me, there's something missing behind that. So if you're looking at like fame as being like the all ending, I don't think that you should. I am successful in my own personal life, and yeah, that's all I can say. I mean, I have a wonderful husband. I have a wonderful family, like all my family around me, not like kids. I don't have kids yet, but God willing, hopefully. We just bought a house. We have our beautiful dogs. So to me, I am very, very successful. I am very successful in things that truly take meaning and that are meaningful in life. And I have beautiful friends around me that I can trust and confide in. And to me, that is true success, as opposed to like being on drama channels and look what this person did and look what that. I would never want any of that at all. Like, to me, that is not success. To me, that is like just not unsuccessful. If I was like not doing good on my YouTube, then obviously I know I would have to switch something around. YouTube isn't working out, but I'm doing really good. Like, I feel like the people who bark the most don't necessarily always have the biggest bite, you know? I mean, you can be very business savvy, like behind the scenes of YouTube, and I think I definitely am. Someone just said breakup advice. When it comes to breakups, I think that honestly, you're gonna feel a lot of sadness, but then trust me, it gets much better, because every time I broke up from a relationship, I was so happy, and it was like a moment of stepping up a level. You learn from that past relationship. And my whole thing is, do not jump into another relationship right away. That is the worst thing to do. I think I've seen it personally, where I've seen someone just break up with a longtime boyfriend, even just a short term, where they really liked them, and they're just like, boom, already with like some other guy. Oh, I hope he likes me. Maybe this is the one. Don't jump too quick. You have to just like, you know, get yourself together again. Analyze what happened, realize that you are good on your own. You do not need anybody. But if you happen to find a partner, you know, that's great. And I think it's just good just to take time for yourself, because when you're in a relationship, it's not just all about, you know, you guys together. You need your own time as well. And this is the best time to be selfish with yourself. When I got out of a really shitty relationship, I was single and I was loving it. Like every single second, every day that went by. Like the first week, I was so like mortified. The second week, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so weird. I'm not doing like certain things. And you know, when you get into habit, it's because that's all you know. Like that's what you knew. And then all of a sudden you start doing new things and meeting new people who are like, man, like this is freaking amazing and I am freaking bomb. Like this is great. And it's so good just to like really spoil yourself and learn about yourself and be comfortable with yourself, so you know your own self-worth, and so that you get prepared for the next relationship. I'm not even trying to be corny, but I loved Ariana Grande's like next song, because it was like, thank you, you know, because I'm so grateful for you, because I learned so much. I mean, I'm not trying to be all cheesy and like quote her, but it's true. Like you really do learn from your last relationship. My last one, I was just like, who was I? I was completely like brainwashed, and I never want to be that person ever again, like ever. And it brought me to a whole, like I literally did a 180 in my own self, and I gained a lot of confidence, and I realized my worth. And I think that experience really just helped me like wake up, freaking hit me on my ass like, girl, you are worth something. You are beautiful. You are your own number one. Like keep it that way. And I think when you break up, just chill, you know, hang out with friends or family, find yourself, just have you time, mask it up. You don't have to worry about anything dealing with someone else. You can just worry about your own self and all the things that you need to get done. Say that you had some goals that you wanted to achieve, and maybe you wanted to, I don't know, start like weight loss, or you wanted to get a membership to a gym, or maybe you wanted to take up painting, whatever, or start cooking. This is your time to be selfish with yourself, because obviously when you get a relationship, it's not all about you. It's about each other, and then you find your time for yourself as well. But right now, you got all the time, and I would definitely soak it up. You guys, I'm having so much fun doing this video. Like I am skipping quite a few questions, because it's more like typical Q&A, like do you guys want kids, and stuff like that, or certain topics where I don't feel comfortable talking about. Like someone asked, would you ever be vegan? I'm not going to talk about topics where it's really going to like spice things up, because I could say one thing and then it's just going to turn into a shitstorm. So just don't get me wrong if I don't answer your questions, just because I want to keep like certain boundaries with things. And I'm one where I never like to offend people, even though, you know, certain mild opinions might really be offensive to someone, which I would hope it wouldn't. But sometimes people do take things crazy, and if I know a topic's already hot, I won't touch it. Sorry. I did answer that one about the famous on YouTube. I feel like that kind of plays into life. Like if you're not as liked or known with like your group of friends, you know, it kind of plays into that. Last question. How do you deal with friends that you're growing apart from? This is a great question because I have like this closest circle of friends. I feel like year after year, you're just like really finding yourself, you're changing, you are growing. And sometimes those people don't really change or grow with you, or you just don't have any similarities anymore. I'm going to put like my best friend, for example. We are still friends, but with us, we went through like a lot of different changes that we didn't really have too much in common. I still love her. We're still best friends. We still communicate, but there have been phases in our life where we kind of just disconnected. Like she got married and she had kids, but I wasn't married and I didn't have kids, and I was going out, and obviously she's not going to go out, so that's where we kind of like lost that. She could go out every now and then if she wanted to, but obviously her main priorities are kids. She's not trying to go out and like meet people or do any of that, or she doesn't want to go out like that. She wants to spend time with her family, which is completely fine. Like I understand that, and I understood that, and we kind of like grew apart, but then like we started coming back around. You know, it just happens with friends. I mean, I'm very grateful for my best friend, so we are still besties. We have like very different lives, but we're still best friends, and I love every moment with her, and we've grown so much. So some people, unfortunately, I have grown apart, and it just stayed that way. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's no reason to really hold on to people that aren't growing with you or support you. And kind of the same for you, because you might look at them and you're like, oh, well, I'm not really interested in what they're doing. And you might grow apart because you're just not interested as well. And vice versa. They cannot be interested in you. And that's okay. That is okay, because there's no point of holding on to something when there's like nothing behind it. Because for my whole thing is, whenever I'm a friend to someone, I want to make sure I'm a damn good friend. Like if I'm going to be your friend, it's not just like, oh yeah, I'm her friend. I want to make sure I'm there for her. I can help her with problems or issues. And if I have problems and issues, I hope she would be there for me too. I just want a whole like 100% complete true friendship, not anything that's like an acquaintance. I know a ton of acquaintances though, but I don't tell those people my personal life. I don't go to them with my problems. I just have a certain amount, like probably like 5 girls I really talk to, and that's about it. Because was it 5 or 4? Maybe 4, and that's about it really. Like I said, sometimes you just grow apart, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's no reason to be offended by the other person. And there are also friends where you get along so well, and you maybe live far from each other, or you just never cross paths, but you can meet up with them for lunch like every 6, maybe once a year. I have a friend like that. And you come together and it's like you never ever left the friendship. I think those are really beautiful as well, just because life is so busy and there's so much shit going on in life and it's crazy. So I love those friendships as well. But if you end up like parting with someone, I wouldn't really be too sad. You know, that was just a part of your life, and you're gonna move on to something as well. It's not like your life completely stops. That was just like a part of your phase, and you know, you learned from them, you grew from them, and you had a beautiful friendship, and then you just kind of go on. So hopefully you guys really liked this video. I had the best time filming it. I feel so good filming it because I've been there on the other side where it's like, man, I wish I could know the answer to something or hear someone else's advice. And I think that's great. I think it's awesome to be able to kind of hear someone else. So hopefully you guys really enjoyed this video. I mean, I'm here for you guys. I love my pineapples. I always get a ton of DMs like dealing with problems or issues, people passing away, and I just want to be there for you guys in any way. So I definitely want to continue this series. Let me know down below if you guys have any cool names for it. I definitely want to put like, what would Lizzy do? I don't know, like, what should it be? Like girl talk or whatever. I want to just, you know, the girl talk isn't generalized just to girls, like a girls club, but you guys know what I mean. Let me know if you guys have any cool names or anything like that. I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much to everybody who has submitted questions. I love you pineapple so much. Don't forget to subscribe. I upload every Tuesday, Thursday, randomly on Sunday. Vlog channel is What Would Lizzy Vlog, and I will see you beautiful people in the next one. Mwah. Whoop whoop.
Here we go, it's all about you, it's all about me, it's all about what we do. Making art, you and me, trying to find something to believe.